All right. All right, this show is brought to you by justinform.com, guys. Share it on your social media websites. Go register at justinform.com. I want everybody on YouTube to go to justinform.com. It's free. It's on me. Right with you in a second. All right. All right. Hi, guys. How you doing? Welcome to the Coffee with Tim Black show. My name is Tim Black. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you could make it. We are here. I know people are just filing in. A lot of people didn't know we were having a show today during the day. This is the Jumpstart reboot of the Tim Black Coffee Show, where we come during the day to you live via live stream. This show is brought to you by justinform.com, a social media site that doesn't steal your data. It doesn't sell you down the river. It's created by activists and commentary pundits like yourselves, or like me, I should say, because I'm part founder of the Just Inform website. And it's on them today. This is for Just Inform. So shout out to the Truth Bomb activists, all my Just Informiacs, all my people, Tim Black's Wolfpack. And I would like to, I want to invite everyone from the Tim Black Wolfpack to come on over to justinform.com. This is streaming on YouTube, but also exclusively on justinform.com. At some point, we'll probably go just to justinform.com for this show, for this particular episode of my shows, because I would like to have private conversations with my Just Inform people. So be a part of that. Go to justinform.com. All right. Yeah. We got a lot of news to get to today. 3 stories are jumping out at me. One of those stories being Uber and Lyft on strike. Well, not the company, but the people. And not the executives. The executives have no reason to strike at all. It's the drivers, the backbone of the company. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Tulsi Gabbard. Where art thou, Tulsi Gabbard? We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about Elizabeth Warren and the impeached Donald Trump thing. We'll get things started off with Donald Trump. In the talk of today, I hate to even repeat it, but I have to. Trump, billionaire loser. Trump, billionaire losers club. All right? So we're going to talk about that. To kick things off, let's go to a clip about Trump's billionaire loser thing that everyone's talking about today. Yep.
Democrats, the New York Times has obtained a decade's worth of his tax information, and their findings are eye-popping, stunning. There's a lot of different adjectives you could use. Joining me is Suzanne Craig of the New York Times. She shares the byline of this breaking story. Decade in the red, Trump tax figures show over $1 billion in business losses. This is incredible in its scope and detail. Can you just lay out in your reporting, and again, it's on the New York Times, so people should go and read the full thing, but we're talking over $1 billion over a decade.
That's just for his core businesses. Every year that we looked at, he lost money, and the losses grew as he went further into the casinos and the losses that happened there. But it's unbelievable. We would have thought, at least in one of the years that we saw, maybe the year he wrote Art of the Deal, he would have made money. He didn't. He was just bleeding money every year that we looked at on his businesses.
In certain years, Donald Trump, according to your reporting, lost more than nearly any other individual taxpayer in the United States. Is that right?
Yeah, it's incredible because we had both his tax information, and then we were able to compare it to a database of people who make a fair bit of money, and that was a 1/3 sampling, but even within that, he was often years was the largest number for losses in America. He lost.
So, I mean, the irony is
stunning.
He was actually the biggest loser, to use a term he would use if he was labeling somebody else.
If he was writing the headline at the New York Times, that would be it. It all kind of came to a head in 1990 when his casinos started to go bankrupt. But for years, we have thought that was sort of where it started, but now we know he just never made money in those years. And it was just it was shocking for us to see, and we led with it, that the year he wrote Art of the Deal, this Master of the Universe
which, by the way,
memoir,
written by
somebody else. But yeah, but that year he lost tens of millions of dollars.
It's incredible. Is there any response from the president on this reporting?
They have. The information that we have is from an IRS transcript, and they're simply saying that the numbers in it, they're saying that they're wrong, but they have not provided us with any information about what is wrong. They've just said that the transcript is questionable.
All right. All right. So Donald Trump, as you just heard, Donald Trump, there's some information obtained by the New York Times. New York Times ran an article where they're showing that Donald Trump may well have been the world's biggest loser when it comes to finances and regulation of one's business, and that Donald Trump didn't do such a great job in the 80s through the 90s, 84 to 95 or 85 to 94, something like that. That's what it's laid out. You can go read more about it on the New York Times website. And I sent out a tweet earlier in regards to this, and anybody who follows me on Twitter at RealTimBlack probably saw it. It's doing pretty well, getting a lot of retweets on it, a lot of likes. Because the reality is 2 words. So what? So and what? So what? Like most of Americans, I sit here and wonder, why is this a conversation? What are we supposed to glean from this information? As an old saying goes, what does that got to do with the price of tea in China? What does this have to do with the price of tea in China? But what does it have to do with the price of my electric bill, my mortgage, my rent, my medication, my prescriptions, my college debt, the ability to stay indoors, my child daycare expenses? What does this have to do? What bearing does this have on the average person? Or factually, actually, anybody in America who's not in the media business or not employed by corporations who benefit from Donald Trump. I don't understand. Why should we give a flying duck? Why? I got a feeling if you went anywhere in America and you talk to working people, look, I live near D.C., okay? Worked in D.C. for 25 years. Got a lot of friends who work in D.C. They may care a little bit. They may care slightly, right? But the average person does not care. You know who really cares about this? The same media corporations who have been making billions of dollars themselves off of Donald Trump's name. It's ironic that MSNBC, who made $1 billion, at least $1 billion in the last election cycle, off of top of what they would normally make by repeatedly propping up Donald Trump. And let's keep it real. I did a little research and I realized that the MSNBC or NBC, the parent company of, who owns it? Time Warner, who owns NBC? I don't even know who owns it. These bastards have been giving Donald Trump a ride since 1980. Since the 80s. They've been propping up Donald Trump, making him famous, making money off of him, making money with him, using him, propelling him. You have driven his stardom. And then you say, oh no, the emperor has no clothes and we're supposed to be shocked. You know, the sickest thing about all of this is not that Donald Trump was able to make people think he made all of this money. It's that you had to know. And you helped him make it. And he helped you make money. All of these people act as if Donald Trump is the worst thing that happened to them. And every chance they get, all they do is talk about Donald Trump. All they do is further his brand. You created Donald Trump. The media has created Donald Trump, and now they want to help in tearing him down. But I'm so sorry. We have so many other things that we need to focus on. We can't all be focused on Donald Trump. So now you want to tell me Donald Trump is not the best businessman. I'm a black man from Washington, D.C. I don't have $1,000 to throw away. You mean to tell me I'm supposed to feel what kind of way about a guy who had $1 billion to throw away and never ever was homeless, didn't miss a meal, in fact made it all back? The Democrats will do whatever they can try to do to get away from the reality that the economy is doing better right now. It's actually doing better. So how is this supposed to be an issue that destroys Donald Trump? I don't know, because people don't care about what the economy or how much money he made in the 80s. People care about how much money they're making now for their families today in 2019. No one cares how much Trump made 20 years ago, or if he lost money 20 years ago. This is an indictment on just what it means to be wealthy. How the wealthy can continue to fail. It don't have to be the smartest and the brightest, but they get many at-bats. And us poor peasants get no at-bats, and we get demonized for losing the little bit that we have. Then we'll have some stupid ass talking about if you poor people would just stop buying tennis shoes, and if they would just stop getting their hair done, with not knowing anything about reality. Not getting it at all, that has no bearing on wealth. The wealth inequality is rampant in this country. And if you want a prime example of just how bad our inequality is, you look at the story of Donald Trump. That's really what this is about. That's what jumps out to me that makes this even relevant to discuss, is the fact that Donald Trump was allowed to be such a bad businessman. And still, he was able to hang in there until he got good, or until he was able to recoup. How many of you have been able to hang in there and recoup? And don't make this a partisan issue, because when the time came, we weren't getting bailed out for those bad foreclosures. We weren't getting bailed out for those bad paper that was written on all those home loans. Those mortgage adjustments on the arm that put a lot of people out of their homes, or Steve Mnuchin's One West company illegally foreclosing on thousands of homes. How much of a rebuilding freelance did you get to run? How much of us got to run around and just rebuild with no penalty and didn't get shows after shows and names on products? You want us to feel bad about Donald Trump? This is not going to do it. This is all politically motivated. New York Times and all of the corporate media is upset because they can't get Donald Trump's tax returns. So now we're going to go dig up some old 25-year-old tax returns and talk about those for a couple of news cycles. Meanwhile, that would be okay if there weren't so many other stories that should be discussed in this country. So many other things that are really going on that are vital, that are important to people, that matter to people. This does not. It doesn't matter. If anything, it shows the come from behind victory of Donald Trump. That's your president. That's your president. That's the guy who beat Hillary. That really should burn, shouldn't it? 2 words. So what? So what? Les Moonves of CBS said, Trump's bad for the country, but he's good for CBS. And that's all you've cared about from day one. And now we're supposed to all care about how bad Donald Trump was doing in the 90s, the early 90s. Sorry, we're too busy wondering if we can keep the roof overhead. We're too busy wondering if we will have enough money to take care of grandma. How are we going to find a way to take care of this college debt? We got people 40 years old, over 40, still paying their student loans. Still paying them. And you want us to be preoccupied. Who amongst us has the time to gallivant around and wonder about Donald Trump's financial situation from 20 years ago? It's like the people that are focused on the Kardashians. Oh no, the Kardashians started off by selling their bodies and putting out a mixtape, a sex mixtape. Yeah, but they did it, and they've succeeded. And they're making all of this money, and they're super successful. We do not have time to live through the eyes of another. We have to live through our own lives. Our news, this is a shame. Our news is turned into a reality show. We got a reality show president, and now we got a reality show news teams, reality show news organization, and reality show media. Then you wonder why people turn to independent news. Because maybe we don't sit around all day and talk about frivolous things that don't matter to anyone at all. And anybody out there, someone said, Tim, well, we can chew gum and walk at the same time, inferring that we should be covering this stupid story about Donald Trump, 20-year-old story about his freaking taxes. Yeah, for 8 years he didn't pay taxes. Amazon's not paying them now. Amazon's not paying taxes now. Walmart's not paying taxes now. Do you care? No. You only care about Donald Trump because it's Donald Trump. And what he did 20 years ago doesn't affect what he's doing now. At some point, what's going to happen are the people are going to revolt. The people are going to get fed up upon fed up. They're going to get sick and tired of being sick and tired. And when that time happens, I know people are already cutting the cord at a rapid rate. But when that time happens, we're going to throw out all of corporate media. You build Donald Trump up. You sell him to us on your shows. You sold him to us on your shows. And then you want us to also sit around and be spectators as you tear him down. And in the meantime, we benefit not. Does that change the reality that 40% of our homeless people have jobs, but they can't afford to live indoors? Does it change the reality that 40% of black children live beneath the poverty line? Does it change the fact that over 100 people die off of opiates a day? That we incarcerate more people than any other country. We have 5% of the world's population with 20% of the world's prisoners. And you want me to wax poetic or to sit back like a vegetable, like a cantaloupe, drooling from the gums while you blabber about Trump's 25-year-old taxes. You have all been Rachel Maddowized. Go F yourselves. Speaking of things that are happening that are more grotesque than 25-year-old taxes, from Orange Man. Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. Uber. Got some news about Uber I'd like to share with you. There's a strike going on, and I ain't talking about baseball or Family Feud. I'm talking about Uber and Lyft workers who are fed up, who are tired, and who are fighting back. Here's the clip. Yeah.
Cities all over the country are turning off the app for all or part of the day to demand better pay and benefits from their companies. ABC's TJ Holmes, major ride-sharing strike that's taking place this morning. Uber and Lyft drivers in major cities all over the country are turning off the app for all or part of the day to demand better pay and benefits from their companies. ABC's TJ Holmes is in Brooklyn with more. Good morning, TJ.
Hey, good morning. $20 to $25 an hour. That's what Uber and Lyft will tell you the drivers make on average. Drivers will tell you the reality is much different, even closer to minimum wage. So on the same week, investors in Uber are about to make billions. Drivers are making a point, and that could make for a frustrating day for commuters. Passengers who use Uber or Lyft might have a long wait time for a ride today. Drivers in at least 10 major cities across the country are shutting off their apps, demanding better pay and benefits.
I came all the way from JFK.
They said. Saibu has been an Uber driver in New York for 3 years and says recently his pay has been cut in half.
We could not even feed the family. We have to stay out more time. We work between 70 and 80 hours.
The main issue, pay structure. Strike organizers say Uber and other rideshare companies can take what amounts to as much as 50% of the passenger fares. They want that capped around 20%. The strike comes on the eve of Uber going public and one of the largest tech IPOs in history, set to make its investors billions.
What do you think about people making billions and your situation being what it is?
Drivers are not making nothing. Without driver, this company don't exist.
Uber tells ABC News, drivers are at the heart of our service. We can't succeed without them. Thousands of people come into work at Uber every day focused on how to make their experience better on and off the road. Sorry. So here in New York, 7 to 9, that's when drivers are going to cut off their apps right at the heart of the commute. But out in L.A., 24 hours, they're expected to be without many of their Uber and Lyft drivers. Michael.
All right, thank you, TJ. It's going to make it a little bit harder to get to work if you need a ride.
That's true.
Oh, man. So you mean to tell me that Uber, getting an estimated $91 billion valuation in its opening on the exchange won't benefit employees? Usually when a company goes public, it benefits the employees as well as the executives. But in this case, it won't benefit the employees. Well, it will benefit the employees, but in this case, in Uber's case, it's really different because Uber doesn't have employees, it has contractors. When I was talking about this back in 2014, 15, I don't know. When we were bringing it up about Obama, people were telling us to shut up. They said we were wrong to complain about Obama because he's the first black president. That's who you thank for this. Do you realize how many labor laws were changed so that they could make Uber exist? How much lobbying, how much money exchanged hands just for this to happen? Labor Secretary, wasn't that Perez? Wasn't that Perez? Hey, Perez, you scumbag. So let me put a little bit more meat on the bone so people know what's going on. Uber prepares to go public on Friday. Its valuation may be as high as $91 billion. Workers say that they have a problem. One of those problems is they have no job security and their pay has been cut in half. They're asking that riders and people that use the service temporarily boycott the service and stand in solidarity with the drivers. The strike is taking place in 10 cities across the country. The strike was spearheaded by Rideshare Drivers United, a Los Angeles-based association of drivers. The group is asking for the support of would-be passengers. We ask that the public support drivers in their struggle for fair wages and our drivers' Bill of Rights. You don't have rights. Didn't anyone listen to George Carlin? You got what's known as, that would be nice to have. When companies go public, it usually means big money for executives and for employees. But in the case of Uber and Lyft, since those are contractors, they don't get to benefit from it. A 9.1 evaluation would put Uber well positioned in the top 3 of all companies who have ever debuted on the stock exchange. Some drivers may get one-time bonuses according to their loyalty. Those who completed more than 2,500 trips before April 7th, and at least one this year, are eligible for a bonus, ranging from $100 for those drivers with 2,500 completed trips to $40,000 for 40,000 completed trips. U.S. drivers can use that bonus to buy up to $10,000 in stock in the company when the IPO is released. According to, who is this? According to the NPR magazine, or NPR, the strike will take different places or take form in different places, in different cities, in different forms. The LA metro area, the strike will last for 24 hours, with a picket line at the Los Angeles International Airport around a noon rally. The New York and New York Taxi Workers Alliance called for a rush hour strike, during which drivers would turn off the Uber, Lyft, and Via apps from 7 to 9 a.m. and then rally outside Uber and Lyft headquarters in Long Island City. Make no mistake that Uber and Lyft going public will make the owners of Lyft and Uber billionaires. Meanwhile, those who drive Uber will struggle and live beneath or at the poverty line. In a statement released by Uber, they said this: our drivers are the heart of our service. We can't succeed without them. And thousands of people come into work at Uber every day focused on how to make their experience better, on and off the road. Whether it's more consistent earnings, stronger insurance protections, or fully funded 4-year degrees for drivers of their families, we'll continue working to improve the experience for and with drivers. Once again, folks, this is what you get in a gig economy. An economy that's based on, hey man, I could be my own boss. I go with God. These people don't realize it's all a racket and that these corporations care not about you. It sort of reminds me of Facebook and Google, how at one point, you're important enough only when you first come in the door, just to get your butt in the seat. And then you got to pay them to talk to the audience that you built on their platform, because at the end of the day, it's their platform. Then they demonetize you, deplatform you, while your audience stays there. Meanwhile, they're selling the email addresses, the likes and dislikes of your audience to their advertisers for profit. You get no profit whatsoever. People don't understand the game. It's a game. To quote George Carlin twice in one broadcast or one segment, woo, that's hot stuff. But as George Carlin said, it's a big club, and you ain't in it. Remember when the taxi drivers, cab drivers were pissed off because Uber was coming in and it was hurting the market? And people were like, shut up, cab drivers, shut up. You in the way of entrepreneurialism. All right, then. Scumbags. Okay, next story. Next story. You know, Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard is still a candidate for president. Or, let's start that again. Tulsi Gabbard is still a candidate for the Democratic nomination, isn't she? Been so long since I heard from Tulsi Gabbard. Not only is she a veteran, 2 tours, Afghanistan, I think it is, active military, young age of only 37, just turned 38, I think. Woman of color, Hindu, House of Representatives, congressperson. Pretty long resume, extensive, you know, as compared to some of the other people who get more limelight, like Mayor Pete. Yeah, she's the other veteran in the race who happens to also be a woman. Happens to also be a minority, happens to also be a congressperson. But she got on the wrong side of the political establishment, and now she is persona non grata. Well, yesterday I got an email from the Tulsi 2020 team that they sent out to all people who have donated to her campaign. Oh, guilty as charged. The mainstream press has a policy of either ignoring or smearing Tulsi. Can you guess why? Yeah, I got a few suggestions. I got a few thoughts I could go with. It's because Tulsi's directly taking on the chicken hawks in both parties, the corporate media and the military-industrial complex, who drive us into war for their own power and profit. As a major in the Army National Guard and the first female combat veteran to run for president, Tulsi's call for peace is uniquely powerful and credible. And that's why they're afraid of her. We have a way to counter the smears and cold shoulders from the mainstream media, but we need your help. So it goes on to ask you to donate to the campaign, because what they're going to attempt to do is talk to voters directly. I mean, anyone who's paying attention to this at all realize what's happening with Tulsi Gabbard is in itself identical, if not identical. It's a very close facsimile of what happened to Bernie Sanders in 2016, where the Democratic establishment decides, we really don't want you in this. It's amazing to see that we have, 21, 22 candidates? And somehow, in 2016, only like 4 people wanted to run. But now we got like 22 who want to run. And it wasn't as if they're, I don't know, it wasn't as if, it was the threat of a Republican coming in office, but still everyone cleared the field. And you want me to believe that in this cycle, in this election, compared to the last election, all of a sudden people want to be president. You want me to believe that that's not coordinated by the DNC and the DCCC? That there isn't a word that goes out that directs people? Where was Cory Booker in 2016? Where was Kamala Harris? Don't tell me she wasn't just as ambitious. Beto O'Rourke said he's in it. He was born to be in it. He wasn't born to be in it in 2016. Come on. He wasn't born in 2016, was he? He'd be a little bit too young to run. So my point is, folks, they control who comes into this race. They control who gets publicity, who gets attention, and what kind of attention it will be. Tulsi Gabbard has been marginalized to a large extent. When she's given opportunity to speak and be heard, it's a smear. The smearing of Tulsi Gabbard is what it is, folks. The way to combat smear, there's only one thing, only one solution to it, and that is more exposure. So we need to give more exposure to Tulsi Gabbard's campaign and to her message, one of peace, that is very unique. One of only a few candidates that is discussing peace. Tulsi Gabbard, go to Tulsi2020.com. Chip in, be a part of it. We want to get her to the 100,000 mark, number of donors. I would never encourage you to do anything that was illegal, but I would encourage you to spread the word. I would encourage you to help your friends see the benefit of having a Tulsi Gabbard, at least one candidate on the debate stage who's anti-regime change war, that's always against dropping bombs and sending drones on innocent brown people. Might be a good idea. All right? So let's do that. The only way to combat this smear, this smothering of Tulsi Gabbard is to fight back with exposure. So let's do what we can in independent media and regular folks at home. All right. All right. So I got a clip of Elizabeth Warren. Not a clip that I'm proud to show you, but I need to show you. I need to share the news with you. But before I do that, I want to remind you that you're watching Coffee with Tim Black. Where is my coffee? I don't know where my coffee is. Left it upstairs. Believe me, I had some this morning. Go to justinformed.com, become a member at justinformed.com. Become a member of justinformed.com. Do it today. That's where you go. Justinformed.com is a social media site that doesn't steal your data, doesn't sell you up the river, doesn't do any of that backstabbing, shadow banning, or the censoring, or the putting you in Facebook jail or prison or the penitentiary, or take away your right to vote on a poll, or any of that stuff. None of it. Go to justinformed.com where media matters, you matter. Not media matters, but where you matter and what kind of media you want to share with the community. Become a part of it and invite all of my Tim Black Wolf Pack to come there. Do it today. All right. Elizabeth Warren. That's where we were. We're at Elizabeth Warren. Let's go to Elizabeth Warren.
Report for nearly 40 minutes and basically said, this is it, guys.
If any other human being in this country had done what's documented in the Mueller report, they would be arrested and put in jail. The majority leader doesn't want us to consider the mountain of evidence against the president. That is wrong. This is not a fight I wanted to take on, but this is the fight in front of us now. This is not about politics. This is about the Constitution of the United States of America. We took an oath not to try to protect Donald Trump. We took an oath to protect and serve the Constitution of the United States of America. And the way we do that is we begin impeachment proceedings now against this president.
Elizabeth Warren. Earth to Elizabeth. Why do you want Mike Pence so bad? And you can't have him because the Republicans are never going to go along with this. Because they know, like I know, and what I'm sure you know, which is Donald Trump's polling pretty well with his people right now. Yeah, he's polling pretty well. He's polling so well that a vote against Donald Trump for impeachment will result in people being kicked out of office in the next cycle. And regardless of what you say about the Constitution, regardless of what you think that the liability is or the true responsibility to the country is for these, Republicans, at the end of the day, they're more focused on their own paychecks, their own careers, and their own backsides, which is the way it's always been. And that is a issue that's plagued both houses, or both sides of the house. It's a nonpartisan issue covering one's backside. So I find it very disingenuous to even have these conversations. Once again, all of this grandstanding, all of this blabbering, all of this pontificating, all of this Sermon on the Mount stuff results in me with two words. So what? So what? Well, Tim, you just don't understand how important this is that we get Donald Trump out of the White House. I'm not really convinced that these people really care about the issues. No, I think it's mostly about politics. How dare Elizabeth Warren say, it's not about politics? Elizabeth, this is not about anything other than politics. It is specifically, indubitably about politics. It's always about politics. It's politics. Donald Trump do deportation, bad orange man. Obama do deportation? Sometimes you gotta deport people. Yeah? For instance, guys, a couple days ago, we missed this. On Freedom Friday show, I wanted to talk to you about Press Freedom Day. That's what it was. Press Freedom Day, right? World Press Freedom Day. I wanted to talk about it because me being a member of the press is an important day for me. Did you know that World Press Freedom Day started like in the 40s? Was it the 30s? Yeah, it's been around for a long time, right? And so it's not a thing that just started. I thought it just started. I thought, wow. Then I saw that people were really talking about World Press Freedom Day because they were really trying to get back at Donald Trump for calling CNN and MSNBC fake news and all of the back and forth with Trump and the media and how he says they're corrupt and they're not giving him a fair shake and they're spreading false narratives and all this stuff, right? So I saw that was mainly the narrative that was being discussed around World Press Freedom Day. So I did a little digging about it, and as I stated, I found out that it's something that's been going on. It's been a holiday for quite some time, and that it has nothing. It didn't just get created; it's been there. And then I realized, oh my God! Well, you know what? World Press Freedom Day couldn't have been in effect under Obama, because if that's the case, I'm sure that they would have a lot to talk about during the Obama years, considering that Obama prosecuted more whistleblowers and press people than any other president combined. I mean, I'm sure the people that care about World Press Freedom Day would have really been talking about it when Obama was being heavy-handed and fascist, authoritarian towards press. I mean, you really want to talk about it when he was breaking records. Yeah, that's what he was doing. But see, my whole point is, it's not bad till Orange Man bad. Orange Man bad. That's the point. So, Elizabeth Warren, you may be right. There are things that Donald Trump is doing that I detest. I find disgusting. The bailing out of the 1%, the tax breaks that benefit the wealthy, the cuts to social services. I'm appalled by it. I'm pissed off about it. I'm ready to fight over it. But unlike some, I was ready to fight for those same issues under Obama. Now, I know we can't go back in time and right our wrongs and all of a sudden be on the side of right, but when it's your turn to stand up against your own party, and you do not, but you rail now, well, that kind of shows it is about politics. Because if you couldn't do it under Obama, and you couldn't talk about it under Obama, and it's your job to be informed, then why weren't you informed under Obama? And that's the problem. And I don't want to just stick it to Elizabeth Warren. There are many, many of these people that all of a sudden come out sanctimonious and higher than high that want to talk to us about and complain and bellow about the Constitution and do not care that under civil asset forfeitures have skyrocketed under Obama and they continue to do some under Obama. I mean, under Trump. We should have access to our own stuff. Isn't that somewhere in the Constitution that the government, the state shouldn't be able to just take your stuff without a conviction, without even a court order or anything, just seize your property and your money? Shouldn't they? That they got this big database where they put all the people in the press in. We covered this on this channel. A lot of the things they complain about are things that have been going on for more than just a couple years under Donald Trump. They've been going on under Obama. And this is sort of why people felt, and I didn't realize it till it happened, that yeah, I had no idea that the press would be so focused on really exposing these problems under Trump, problems that they ignored under Obama. And that's why people said, well, you know, maybe Trump being in office will bring a revolution. But see, they want to make it about one guy. They want to make it about one person. They don't want to make it about our whole system. This is a systemic problem. You know, we can all get wrapped up emotionally about that one person that really ticks us off. We can focus on that one person, whether it be a blabbermouth trailer park trash lady in the Walmart parking lot using the N-word in front of her kids to badger a black man. That's disgusting, and we get pissed off about it. But let's not. But, you know, let's focus on the bigger pictures here as well, such as, you know, the criminal justice system that does that cause us N-words in other ways. The medical profession that causes N-words in other ways when they don't value women, black women, the same level that they value white women. So we have 2.5 times the more infant mortality rate is white women. Because when black women say, I feel sick, they go, you be all right. Which harkens back to it has a long history in the United States. So what I'm saying is, guys, they're doing the same thing with Donald Trump. They want us to focus on the big, ugly thing and ignore it. That's supposed to be a scapegoat for all the other problems. Obama was at war every second of his presidency. He dropped more bombs than any other president. The only time that they even give Donald Trump any love is when he's doing the same. I'm not saying Donald Trump shouldn't be impeached. I think probably every president we've ever had, at least since Jimmy Carter, should be impeached. On something. I'm sure there was something. I mean, Bush stole his election. Obama scammed us, and now we got Trump, who's a scam artist as well. As much as we say that Donald Trump is not fit for office, none of those presidents have been. That's just the truth. All right, guys, I'm Tim Black. Find me at Real Tim Black on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. This show is brought to you by justinformed.com. Become a member today. It will cost you the grand total of $0.00. But it'll be an environment that's about truth and about information, and we'd love to have you there. Email me at tim@timblacktv.com with questions or story ideas. I'll see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a Tim Black at Night show. Meanwhile, go to my YouTube channel where you'll see new updates, new videos, because we're still putting those out. I love you, and until we talk again, keep your head up. Don't let nobody take your cornbread. And pick up some Tim Black coffee. Yay! Tim Black got coffee. It's coffee good. Every time you buy a pound of our coffee, it goes to support a school. Not just in America, but in the country of origin. It's good stuff.